Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
So that might be a little confusing for those of you who are accustomed to trading spot currency or even maybe in some cases other instruments. But if you buy the BPX, you're actually betting that the dollar is going to go up, even though I'm saying BPX. If you sell the BPX, you're actually betting that the dollar is going to go down and the British pound is going to go up. There's only three things that we can do right now with the British pound. We can have an opinion that it's going to go up and do something about it, that the British pound is going to strengthen. We can do nothing because we think that it's sort of middle of the road and nothing's really happening. Or we could sell the British pound. Now everybody on earth, like everybody I know, just tons of people, everywhere I talk to in the currency markets, I hear nothing but terrible things about the UK economy. I read it in the Wall Street Journal. I read these articles about, just even recently, I've read these articles about, is the UK economy ever coming back? Are we going to hit parity between the dollar and the British pound? And in another way, is the BPX going to go to 100? It's at 70 right now. I mean, is it going to go to 100? I hear these just incredibly amazing things, all pretty much centered on the weakness in the UK economy. Sounds a lot like what I was hearing. The articles look a lot like what I was reading. The charts look a lot like what I was looking at last year around the same time that you couldn't find anybody to like the dollar. I think of the 62 simple moving average on the daily chart as this level of equilibrium. And I'm constantly asking myself, are we far away from it or are we close to it? And here we go. Now we've set the foundation, and I want to talk a little bit about how I go about the process of deciding that I want to be a part of a trade. This will take a moment to describe, but I not only, Steve, today, and I know it's possible, not only today do I want to show this chart that we're looking at here, but I want to show people something that most people ignore completely and don't know is available, which is the data on the ISE webpage. And I actually want to show them how I go about the process of building this graph right here. Is that going to be okay, Steve?
Yeah, you know how to do it, right? Just share your desktop?
Yeah. Yep, I'll be able to share my desktop. So I'm going to talk about, I'm actually going to hold this slide right here for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the ISE webpage, and I'm actually going to share it. So it'll take me a moment, and if I do this wrong, I want everybody to hold on and be patient and make sure that we don't freak out. All right. I'm going to share my desktop, and you can see my charts and a bunch of stuff going on. And I want to share this web page. Steve, are you able to see my web page that I've got up here with the historical data on the options?
I initially saw the chart on the pound dollar, and now it looks like it's the ISE website.
So are we looking at a web page?
Yeah, I see the ISE. You're showing the currency tables right now.
Okay, perfect. This link, you can see it at the top, everybody. This is a link at the ISE's web page, and you can go to products traded, FX options, and down at the bottom, and nobody pays attention to this, I promise. Nobody's paying attention to this, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to say gold mine. I want to say, as far as I'm concerned, this is some of the most exceptionally worthwhile and valuable data that not enough people are paying attention to. They give you historical data. What I want to do here is I want to click on download, and what it does is it allows me to download historical information about the ISE options. I want to pull this up and open up a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Steve, just let me know if, does the spreadsheet...
Yep, it opened.
Okay, here we go. I want to show everyone how I go about the process of building a statistical analysis to create an opportunity to trade. And the wonderful thing about ISE options is that we're going to be able to build this, we're going to be able to look at the data, we're going to be able to make decisions about it, and we're going to be trading with a longer-term time horizon. So we don't have to make decisions like immediately. We don't have to sort of engage ourselves in frantic short-term trading. All right, date and rate, we're going to just replace the word rate by BPX. What we're looking at right here is we're looking at a string of daily quotes. Now I made it really small, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to go back to something that we can see. All right, I could do a simple chart in Microsoft Excel, and I could just plot the price. And I'm going to just do that real quick. I highlight the whole range of data. I click on Insert. I click on Line Chart, and boom, Microsoft Excel pops up this beautiful image of the BPX. That's, you know, historical pricing information calculated backwards all the way through to the present, and these are daily closing prices for the BPX. Now that's interesting, but you can get that online on the web. We can look at charts on the web, and we can see price on the web. I don't really care about that. I want to do a statistical analysis, and I want to show you sort of how I went about the process, or about the process of building something more significant than that. I want to say 62 simple moving average at the top here on my screen. And I want to go down 62 or 63 rows, and I want to calculate the average of the last 62 days of the closing price. And I want to make that only 2 decimal places. And I want to scroll all the way to the bottom and make sure my calculations were done correctly. That looks like the average, actually. That looks pretty reasonable. And what I want to do now is I want to chart this. Well, I don't want to chart this yet. Hold on. Now I want to ask myself a question. Let me make sure that's the BPX, just so I know. Yeah. That might actually, yeah, that's good. What I want to do now is I want to see how far away the current price is from the 62. And I want to calculate that. And then I want to show you a chart. And this is going to bring it all together. So for those of you who have been like, what the crap is he doing? It's all going to come together in a moment. Microsoft Excel plots this big old chart here. And now I'm going to make it even larger. I'm going to fill up the screen so we can see it. And I want to show you something. I made it too big, sorry. You'll notice something right here. It is extraordinarily rare for the current quote on the BPX, it is extraordinarily rare for that to get more than 5 points away from the 62 simple moving average on the daily chart. Let me say that again. It is extremely rare for the BPX current quote to be more than 5 points away from the simple moving average that we've talked about. What I'm trying to say here is the market, to a certain extent, can be called overextended, not just when a stochastic or a MACD or a CCI or some other indicator. It's not just overextended necessarily when something like that goes overbought or oversold. But instead, think about this for a moment. Maybe it's also overextended, or more importantly overextended, when it distances itself too far away from a home base. And look what's happening right here, everyone. Look at this far right area.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.